What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp. This is
Sparky.
Back again like you never left. And today, Today we're going to be talking about the Jackal, the PSA Jakl. Before we do, I want to give a big shout out to the biggest supporter of the channel. Not us today. Velocity.
That's right.
Ammo. Yeah, so go check out Velocity Ammo. They keep the freedom seeds flowing here.
That's right.
Over on the channel, so we appreciate them a lot. If you go to basementoperator.com and then go to the links page, there you can find Velocity, and then if you click their link, use code DELP, it'll save you 5% off on your order. And then if you order $200 or more, you get free shipping. So that's a fantastic deal. I mean, you know how much shipping is on ammo. It can be brutal.
Very.
Yep. So next thing's next. Now's the time you turn around. Basement Operator, we have brand new shirts coming out all the time. So make sure
officially that season.
It's officially spooky season. So go check us out, basementoperator.com, and then pick up some merch. Also, I forgot to mention this in the last video. The builds. We're doing builds now. So if you go to the builds link on our website, you can find all the stuff we do. So like this Jackal right here, if you like this setup we have, you can go to the builds, and then I'll have links to every single thing on this setup that you can pretty much click. It'll take you to the website where you can buy them, and then if you buy all that stuff and assemble it, you can have it exactly how we have it here on the channel. And we'll link coupon codes there too, so if we have a code somewhere, like Optics Planet has a code, it'll be there on the builds page as well. So without further ado, let's talk about the PSA Jakl. And this one's been a long time coming. PSA actually came out with the Jackal like a year ago, but ever since they came out with that, there's been a lot of variation, iterations. The original Jackal looked nothing like this at all, and I never really thought it would manifest into this. I think it came out at SHOT Show 2 years ago, and then when they first released it, it was the pistol. Yes. But then all the pistol stuff happened, so they kind of pulled that back, and I guess they were like, how can we make this thing useful and legal? Easily legal. So in March of this year, we went to the gathering at PSA, and they had one of their first versions of the rifle version of the Jackal. And that's what this is here. We shot it. We didn't really think, we didn't really think that much of it, but I still wanted to get some time behind it and get some shooting. So I reached out to PSA and I was like, can you send me a Jackal? So PSA did send this one out. We have a pretty good relationship with PSA. They've never really asked me to do anything other than review it. They've never asked me to make a good review, a bad review. They're kind of just like, here, test it out, shoot it. What do you think? That's how this kind of thing kind of started. Upon shooting it, there's been some stuff, and we'll kind of go over everything about this firearm, and what'd you say, tip to butt? Yep, or butt to tip. I don't know, whatever Grand Thumb does, because, you know, we're shields for him. That's right. We'll start at the front and work our way back. First things first, this one, I did get a pin and welded version. This one has a, what is it called, a JMAC mount. So basically accepts the dead air. We got a little dead air K here, the little shorty. The barrel itself is a 13.7, and then they have the pin and welded flash hider on it, which, you know, brings it up to that legal length. I think, like, I'm getting behind the pin and welded stuff, as long as you know that you don't want to do anything to it. Exactly. Is, I guess, my thing with the pin and welded stuff, because, well, nobody's doing anything to a Jackal anyway, because there's just too much going on. Well, I mean, some might be crazy. Potentially, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. You're probably not going to do much to your Jackal. But as long as you know what kind of suppressor you want, shoot, go ahead and do the pin and welded stuff. It lets you avoid ye old tack stamp, and it does like cut down. So, you know, like a normal pin and or a normal 16-inch with this flash hider would probably be out to here. So I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. 2 inches is a lot. 2 inches is a lot, and it's Sparky. That's right, especially for you. You're right. Anywho, so you got the 13.7 barrel. You know, fine. It's not their FN line. It's just PSA's normal barrel, which we have a bunch of PSA rifles here on the channel. I've never had like bad shooting barrels. They've always been like, you know, 2 MOA, you know, just your normal. Yeah, what you expect. What you expect. Moving on to the rail system. Thing is thick. The thing is thick. It is a beefy boy, you know? You're not breaking that. Huh? Nothing wrong with being thick, Hunter. Calm down. The plate. We need to have a t-shirt. Nobody knows. Nobody even gets that. So the rail system's a big one. Now, they have two different rail systems for the Jackal. This one does extend all the way out to the end of the barrel.
I kind of like the look of it.
I like the look of it, but they also have one that kind of cuts here at the gas block. Now, I kind of like the barrel sticking out past the rail system.
Really?
Hunter doesn't like that. Undoubtedly, I guess you don't like that either.
I think this looks cleaner. You just added a lot of weight to it, but...
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and that's the big thing with this rail system. It is a heavy boy.
Yeah, this thing is extremely heavy. It's like
the reason we don't have the can on the front of it is because it wants to go whoop on the stand here. It is a very heavy rail system, but there is a lot to hide and a lot to cover up. So
this is so thick, which is good, I guess. You can beat it up and it's not gonna break.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like it's
beefy all the way around,
built into the full upper receiver. So
you're not gonna break it.
Yeah, you're not gonna break this thing, but it covers up a lot. So it covers up an adjustable gas system,
which is actually fairly easy to get to.
Oh, it's very easy to get to.
We were playing with it a minute ago.
We were playing with it a minute ago. We were getting the thing to go with the suppressor. I screwed it up last time we took it out, and I got it one-click tube back. Yeah, whatever. It works the exact same way as an AK-47 gas system. That's why you can have...
Come on, eat sweeties. There we go.
Yeah, there's no buffer system in it. So that's cool.
Selling point number one.
So, selling point number one. So if we work our way back from the gas system and
charging handle,
part of the stuff that is hid by this massive rail, then you have your charging handle. Now this charging handle is a ambidextrous charging handle, so you can bounce it to the other side. It's got a cut for it right here. I haven't changed it yet. I think it's fine.
You're not lefty?
No, I'm not a lefty. No. If you were interested in that,
for those that are southpaws,
for the southpaws in it, you could, put it right here. You might want to get, maybe a different,
some ambi selectors,
but in general,
you could
if you wanted to. And then the rest of the upper receiver and bolt carrier group, it's pretty standard. I think it's like the Carpenter 158, 158. It's what every single PSA bolt carrier group is made out of.
Same stuff.
Same soup. Then we come to the lower receiver, which is an AR-15 lower receiver.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. PSA, originally, I think the Jackal lower receiver was a different lower, and I think they've started to make them to where you can just buy these conversion, the back parts to just turn your normal AR-15 lower receiver into a Jackal, which is pretty cool. The if you were a lefty, you might want to swap out your safety and whatnot. I mean, it's got basic stuff. It's got a mag pull grip, triggers,
standard AR trigger.
Standard AR trigger. Nothing crazy. And I don't have a problem with mil-spec triggers.
I mean, it's all right.
Some people get all...
I like a little bit lighter, nicer ones, but this one does the job. I do like that you can run AR lower.
Yeah. And you take it off. Boop, boop.
Like a regular.
Yeah, but the thing's still stuck on the back of it. And then moving to the back, which Sparky complains about a lot.
Selling point, the folding stock.
The selling point, the folding stock. So I like the folding stock. I like the stock itself.
It's kind of a pain in the butt to use if you can't tell.
If you can't figure it out. Some people are simple-minded. I think the stock really brings it all together. I think it makes it look like an ACR. Hunter thinks it looks like a SCAR.
I could see it either way.
I think it's on there. Golly, what are you doing?
Playing.
Yeah, he can't figure it out. Which is the selling point because it looks cool. And the biggest part of all guns is looking cool. So, that's where it's at right there. I do like the fact that you can flip it over and, storage, or if you want to put it in some sort of bag or whatnot. And then maybe, if you wanted to get really frisky with it, you could buy the lower, go ahead and SBR it and get a short barreled one. And then or if you put it in like 300 blackout.
Ooh.
Yeah, talk about just being ravenous. Deer, whatever you want him. That's a big selling point and one of the reasons I was drawn to it and I like it a lot.
Eye catcher.
Yeah, it's an eye catcher. It's different. It's not your typical, just black rifle. And I think that's nice to diversify a little bit, get a little bit of something different here on the channel. And why not? So last but not least, let's talk about kind of how we have this thing set up. It's a pretty minimalistic setup. We are running an AccuFire 1-to-6 on it. You know, I'm a big fan of the AccuFire stuff. And we have a Vortex Viper on an Arasaka mount that's offset. Up here, up at the front, we are running a HRT Tactical light with one of their little momentary little pressure things. The reason, so I usually run my light on this side. I can't get my thumb around to even click it because of how massive this rail system is. So I ran it on this side just because I can just easily manipulate the light. So like, boop.
So what are 2 things you like about the Jackal and 2 things you don't like?
So I like the charging and how easy it is to manipulate the gas system. So, I mean, other than like the normal AR stuff, it's a good shooter. Shut up. I like the charging handle, and then I also like how easy it is to manipulate the gas on it, especially if you want to run suppressed or unsuppressed.
Or if you're going in between cans.
Yeah, if you're going in between cans, it's super easy. I mean, we adjusted the gas system in 2 shots, so it was super easy to do. So what I don't like about it is very front heavy. It is extremely front heavy.
It's like swinging a fence post.
Yeah, it's like swinging a fence post. I would say if I was to do it again, I would want one with a shorter rail system on it.
Or SBR.
Yeah, or an SBR. Go ahead and get the lower SBR and get like just an overall more compact system. And I think that would probably improve it a lot for me, to be completely honest with.
There's no balance to the gun. And I think part of it is where the stock is so light. That's my biggest gripe with the stock, is that there's no balance. If there was some weight back here,
well, there's nothing really in the stock. So you got to think like a normal stock for an AR-15. I mean, it's mostly metal back there with the buffer system.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know.
This is just stock.
But like, this is all just plastic.
Yeah.
Material-wise, if you did some more metal or whatever, or just did different material that had some weight to it to go and be a little more balanced. Now, this thing being front heavy, there's no muzzle climb, which is 5.56. So I mean, is what it is.
Be a man, Sparky.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's no muzzle climb, next to no recoil because it's 5.56. But it's just so front heavy, going in between targets and manipulating the firearm and stuff. It's just
and so heavy. The next thing I would say, so the first thing would be obviously the weight. The next thing, and I think this is a more general thing, is my general unfamiliarity with
this system.
Obviously that comes with time. You know, once you break a few things and you have to fix them, I'll get it. But it's just different. And I guess it's not that big of a deal for me because I'm willing to learn from it. But like if you're a new shooter and you want to buy an AR-15 or AR-15 style, I would say this is a little bit out of pocket because most of the time, or most of the stuff you'll see is AR-15.
Well, either that, or if you're not familiar with AR-15s, if you're not familiar with AR-15, you have nothing. You haven't learned the habits of shooting an AR. So like if you bought this initially, it's the same learning curve as buying an AR.
Until you go AR.
But if you go from AR to Jackal, there's a little bit of a learning curve. But if you just went straight to Jackal, you don't have the habits from your AR. Like the first time I picked up, I went here. I'm like, ooh, that's gonna hurt. Wait a minute.
Yeah, when you grab that thing. Well, actually, it's not reciprocating.
It's not reciprocating, but like when I put my hand there, I was like, wait a minute, like that don't look right.
I'm gonna need a charge there. That's one thing I forgot to mention. When I first got this thing, I was terrified it was gonna be reciprocating like the Scar.
Oh yeah.
Well, the new Scars aren't, but the old Scars are. And I was for sure. I was like, that thing's gonna move, and then I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna shoot this thing, and I'm gonna get an opinion on it, and I'm gonna hate it because it's reciprocating.
And when he says reciprocating, that means that this charging handle comes down with the bolt.
Yeah, but it don't.
It doesn't.
It's fine. It's good. So what about you? What are 2 things you like?
I don't like the weight. Yeah, it's unbalanced. In my ever so humble opinion, learning curve, man, it's not really a negative thing. It's got the QD. I say I don't like the weight, but I like how sturdy the rail system is on it, which is a plus. But I feel like
it's also a negative.
It's also a negative. But I think if you didn't have to go this far with it. But this is one heck of a battle rifle. You can beat this thing around.
Oh yeah.
Not have to worry about it. I like that you can use AR lower, so you don't have to.
And a lot of parts are interchangeable.
Yes, so I think that's a plus. That definitely helps the selling point if you're coming from the AR world.
Like if you want to drop in just a trigger.
If you had just random AR trigger, you can throw it in there.
Let's take this thing apart.
Yeah. Give them a quick demo. So that's what you got.
Yeah. Yep. Just I mean, it's just very like same
It's an AR.
internals. So that thing looks cool though, don't it? He's a party pooper. What do you think, Hunter? Think it looks cool? You gonna take cool photos of it so they should go follow us on Instagram?
He's probably just DM them to your mom.
Oh,
that's rough. All right, so
on that
note, we're gonna conclude it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Go follow us on Instagram. I guess to not see photos because they're gonna be DM'd to my mom. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. Big thank you to Velocity for supporting the channel, and we'll see you guys. Peace.
boy, she thick.